I mean, with Julian coming up on the way here, we was a little bit in trepidation of what today could have turned out. But I've got to say, I was quite impressed with the players' attitude. Didn't get off to the best of starts, went 2-0 down to fight back and get 2-2. I think that's very creditable. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, coming up here, I'm questioning why are we coming? It's almost like a car crash. It's not pleasant, but you kind of feel obliged to look. And I'm thinking, why on earth am I coming up here? And I'm thinking, am I just addicted to coming? Because there's no real pleasure.
You're a true fan, that's what it is.
I don't know, am I a true fan or am I a glutton for punishment? Because there was absolutely no positives on wanting to come. And we got here a couple of hours before kick-off and we were at a party, but it's a party that we didn't want to be invited to. And it seemed like anything that we were going to do today wasn't going to be positive for us. If we'd come here and won, then people would have said, well, the pressure's off. So why on earth are they playing like that? They should have played that the whole season. If we got absolutely battered, it almost reinforces that we're just not as good as them. But actually what we saw today was a bit of a mixture, because if we'd played like that in the first half, the whole season, I think we'd have got relegated. It was absolutely abysmal.
I actually thought that the first 10 or so minutes we actually started quite well. We had a lot of the ball, we were probing, didn't really create anything special, but I thought, this is encouraging. But then proceeded to concede 2 goals in the space of a couple of minutes, and the look at everyone's faces around me was like, wow, this could be a long, long day. But to be fair to them, in the second half, I thought they started well, got the goal, and got another goal. And to me, I mean, this is what I'm thinking, had Marino not got himself sent off, I could have seen us winning that game.
Yeah, I think when you look at the beginning of the game, you mentioned first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought it was about 3 that we actually played well. Saka missed the chance. We didn't actually have a shot on target the first half. And I think for me the reasons were obvious, is that you had one team that was playing the ball forward quickly and the other team that was playing from side to side. So by the time we got to the attack, if we actually got there playing that slow build-up play, they'd pack their defence. It wasn't particularly difficult, whereas all they were doing was hoofing the ball long, and we were playing a high line which was being exposed time after time. So even though we had more of the possession, it was wasted possession, because all they had to do was just kick the ball long. We were playing the high line, and every time they attacked, they looked like they could score. And I think their first goal, we actually came back and it was last-ditch defending, and that happened a few times. And it was almost like they were so knackered that they completely switched off for the throw-in and just let the guy score. It was
right.
just...
That was the Cody Gakpo goal, wasn't it, at the near post?
Yeah, and I think it was Robinson on the that got the throw went to Robinson. Robinson crossed it over, but there was absolutely no one on him. They'd completely switched off, because I think they were so knackered coming back to defend that chance before that they switched off. But then come the second half, they've come out. And
what do you think the manager would have said to them at half time? Because I reckon he probably laid into them, told them to stop feeling sorry for themselves, come on, get it sorted out. And to be fair, I thought second half they were a lot better, right from the start. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, whatever he said to them worked, but I think he changed the tactics slightly from what I could see. And it is always difficult to assess the game from behind the goal, although the view it's completely unobstructed, other than it is behind the goal. But from what I could see, they put Martinelli. It was a slight change of tactics. Actually, Martinelli seemed to be playing more central, and
Trossard, he was interchanging with Trossard. You could see that definitely.
Yeah, and Trossard went out onto the wing a little bit more, and I think that worked. But there was a far more intensity, far greater intensity to Arsenal's play, a lot more confidence. But again, they were getting the ball forward. And although they weren't leaving, that they were still playing a relatively high line, Liverpool weren't able to expose it. And I think Liverpool weren't actually that great. It's not.
No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, it's not just about Arsenal, playing really well. We shouldn't forget we were playing the champions, although that. That's difficult to say. This season's champions, not next season's. And Liverpool just didn't look that great.
No, they didn't look impressive to me, overly impressive anyway. I mean, at the end of the day, we know they're a very good team. They're deserved champions. Today was supposed to be their big party. Even when we arrived at the ground today, everyone was singing and dancing. They had a couple of people on stage, sort of giving an impromptu concert. So it was all set up for them today. So I'm quite pleased with the way that Arsenal, especially in the second half, approached the game. They basically said, look, you know what I mean, we're going to be professional, keep the integrity of the league, and I thought we did really well. Got to ask you, who stood out for you today from Arsenal?
I think Martinelli.
I thought he had a good game.
For his work rate always, but also he was effective. I actually thought Odegaard had a better game. I mean, they all played better in the second half. It was interesting. I thought the first half, I thought Ben White was hopeless. I thought it was absolutely hopeless. But second half, he was really effective, and Saka as well. But again, the one that I don't think was at fault at all, he wasn't at fault for either goal, was Raya. And I thought some of the saves, we shouldn't forget some of the saves that he made in the first half. Otherwise, we could have absolutely got decimated and embarrassed.
Yeah, there was one he made with his feet, I think, in the first 10 minutes or so. That was a really good save. I don't know how he could. I was saying to you, was it you I was saying to when we was watching him warm up? The agility of the man is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, everything about him is impressive. He's the kind of goalkeeper that doesn't actually have to play in goal. He plays a lot of his time at centre half. But then coming to the sending off, I think, again, I don't want to blame Raya for that, because that's who he is and that's how he plays. But he put one of our defenders, Marino, in a position of danger.
I didn't think Marino needed to do that. He kind of panicked there, or he lost his composure. For guys of experience, I was a bit disappointed with that. But hey, we conceded. He got himself sent off, and down to 10 men. I thought the guys did really well. I think he got sent off about just over 10 minutes ago, and we held out. Got to ask you, next week against Newcastle, how strong do you think you'll go? Because we didn't see Wanyeri today. Were you surprised about that?
No, I wasn't particularly surprised, because he's still, I think we need to remember, he's 17 years old. So
but he didn't get no minutes at all. He's not played now for a few weeks.
Well, he didn't get any minutes today. I think he probably would have come on, but when we went down to 10 men, we were basically had to defend. And he's the kind of player that, yes, could have given us an outlet, but he's not experienced enough. We needed to defend. We needed to come back. And I don't think we should forget the fact that we've come to Liverpool twice this season. We haven't lost. We didn't lose last season in Liverpool either. We didn't lose last season in Manchester. And when I'm talking about Manchester and Liverpool, either team. And we didn't lose this season. So it's not that bad. Yes, we've come second. We haven't managed to win the league.
We hope we finish second, but yeah.
We're second at the moment, and we're we only need, I think, another point to qualify for the Champions League, which again is an achievement. It's not a trophy, but it's more important than some of the trophies that you can win.
Okay, Julian, thanks very much. Nice one. Okay.